Yo, fake radio. It's DJ Rax Kills. Back with another special guest. Introduce yourself.
Mike Ben here.
It's Mike Ben. We got Mike Ben on the show.
Yes, sir.
It's a lit time. So
excited to be here, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for having
I'm
me.
excited to have you. So we met in the music video shit, you know.
Yeah.
The Don't Look
Vampire
Studios.
thing,
Yeah. When did you start making music? When, like, what was young Mike Ben? What were we listening to?
Well, in middle school, I started rapping, writing raps, you know, and like I was freestyling a lot, rap battling and shit.
Yeah.
Can I cuss here?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, just from there in high school, I started like fucking around with like GarageBand and like things like that. Recording and then, you know, like senior year I started like singing and stuff and like experimenting more. Then it wasn't until like after high school really I started to like take it serious, where I was like, yeah, you know, like I gotta like pay for studio time and like that type of stuff, you know.
And you went to college, right?
Yeah, I went to community college for a year or two. I believe it was like 2 years, and then I went to the LA recording school.
Okay.
Where I got my degree in audio engineering.
Yeah.
And that's where I met like the really close homies that like owned the studio that I was able to like work at and shit, you know, and like really build my artistry there. So it's definitely not a waste for sure.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
So you're from Cali, like born and raised?
Yeah, man, born and raised in Burbank.
There we go. Okay, so the house in Tehachapi where we recorded The Vampire, that's not like the house you grew up in?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a recent.
Okay, word.
Yeah.
Word.
Recently, moved out there a couple years ago. Yeah.
So you grew up in Burbank. What's that like?
Burbank, man. I grew up. I went to a Catholic school all my life. So kind of in a very like small bubble growing up in high school. You know, but I like Burbank. It's kept me safe. You know, I've been kept me out of trouble for the most part.
Absolutely. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, man, you know.
Yeah, and what music were you like listening to as a kid? What got you?
And as a kid, you know, I listened to a lot of I'd say like just whatever, man, like pop. You know, like whatever's on the radio. Interestingly, I never really was that into music as a kid. You know, like I hear like a lot of artists like they're like, oh man, when I was 2 I was playing drums. You know, you see those videos. No, that was not me.
I get you.
I wanted to be a baseball player when I was little. Like I was really passionate about that.
Doing the Little League.
Yeah. And then I tore my rotator cuff. And, yeah, bro, shit had me out. I never was the same. I could never throw without like feeling pain. So yeah, man, I just kind of stopped playing ball. Then you know, I got really into like rap. I was really into like Eminem.
Okay.
Yeah, man, 8 Mile was crazy. That shit changed my life.
For sure.
And then, you know, in high school I got really into like The Weeknd. So I got like really inspired to like sing and stuff. So yeah, those were pretty much like, and like Kendrick Lamar, you know,
for sure,
like that shit really inspired me when I was like, you know, in middle school and high school.
Yeah. That's what's up. And so The Weeknd, I'm assuming that's kind of how you got into the falsetto shit. But how'd you learn that you could like do that so well
bro.
on this shit?
Yeah, bro. It's actually interesting because like all throughout high school and after high school, I sang, but I never sang in falsetto. It was just like in my natural kind of like baritone. I'm kind of like a and then, bro, it was like going to the studio with the homies. You know, every day, like, we would fuck around and make, like, a bunch of shit. And, you know, I was experimenting more. And, like, I forget, like, what it was exactly, what song or whatever. But, like, yeah, man, I was just, like, doing kind of like a goofy, almost, like, kind of like a, like, like, I don't know. I was just fucking around, bro. And then, like, I was like, oh, shit. And then, like, I just kept, you know, practice, like, you know, I kept going with it. And, yeah, man, just kind of became like a sound, a signature for me. Like I started to like kind of fall in love with, you know, singing like more ballad type stuff, and like yeah, man, it just really helped me to branch out in my artistry, you know.
Yeah, because you do a lot of genre bending.
Right. Sure. I really pride myself in being versatile. Like I really like to, like my whole thing, bro, is like I really want to have like I don't want to have a sound. I don't want it to be like, oh, this is a Mike Bin type beat.
I get
you. You know,
absolutely.
Like I really want to like stretch as much as I can, bro, and like do shit that's like you know different.
And your last song was like some ballad type shit.
What was my last one, man?
America,
bro. That shit is fucking. That is some straight up ballad type shit. Like
that I did not expect that when I put it on.
It's definitely a different you know, vibe for sure. The homie, when he was mixing it, he was like, yeah, bro, this is a American type beat for sure. Cause it sounds like and like kind of sounds like some like fucking Beethoven pop meets Taylor Swift type shit.
Yeah, well, no, I knew it was like something different because I saw on Apple Music it said instead of like hip hop rap it said R&B, so I was like,
it said some shit different.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so I know he's like singing, and then I was like, this is like interesting. Okay.
Yeah, bro, it was I produced it, so it was kind of whenever I produce the songs, it like always comes out kind of like different because my production style is like, I'm still kind of growing as a producer. And I'm not I definitely wouldn't consider myself a producer yet, you know, even though technically I am producing. So you know, you can hear that in the production. I have kind of an amateur production skill, but it kind of benefits me because it lets me explore different, you know, because I don't go by the book. I don't know the book. You know, I'm not an experienced producer, so I kind of like fuck around with a bunch of different sounds, a bunch of different and that's kind of how that song came about.
For sure. What software do you use?
Logic. Okay, I'm a Logic head, bro. I love Logic. I produce in Logic and I record in it. Cause dude, the homies like they'll produce they'll like make a beat on Fruit FL, and then like they'll have to like bounce it into Pro Tools. And then like they're like, oh, bro, we want to raise the snare up, and then they'll have to go back to FL. Like for me, I just do it all in Logic, bro, and I don't have to like go back and forth. So it's pretty dope.
No. And you also, a lot of songs of yours are produced by What You Doing, Wilmer.
Yes, sir.
So how'd you meet that guy?
He went to school with me, man.
Okay.
College, the LA recording school.
Where?
That's where I met him and the other homie Wyatt.
Okay,
They're the two owners of Museum Studios.
Oh, okay, where? So, Museum Studios.
Yeah, man, and they showed me a lot of love from day one. Like, I was going there to the studio a lot, like for free, just like fucking around with them, like making shit. And like that's really what got me to evolve so much as an artist with my sound, bro. Was being able to have that practice, you know. So
and he mixes all your stuff too, right?
He mixes all my shit and masters it, and bro, I work with him. We have like so many songs together, and like he produced Vampire.
That's
and you hear his tag in it.
I heard that tag many times. I was like, I wonder who that is.
Yeah, bro, he's produced a lot of my joints, so super dope working with him always.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I noticed even before I met you, when I was like looking into your music, when Jack started working with you, I noticed you got like very consistent cover art. Who does the cover art? What?
That's me. I
you do that whole shit?
Bro.
Okay,
I got a Photoshop every month. Man. I've always been like, ever since I was a kid, bro. I've always loved like symmetry in that sense. Like do you ever play Call of Duty?
Nah.
As a kid, okay. Well, there's something called like perks.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I always loved how the perk icons were like the same as each other, but just like a different. It was like slightly different. Like you have like a red triangle with like a lizard on it for this cold-blooded perk, and then they'd have. That's cool. You know, and I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
That was always very pleasing to my mind. I don't know why, the symmetry of like having like the same shape but different icon, like different colors. Like I don't know. So I guess it kind of carried over to my artistry, because bro, I love doing that shit.
And were you like a CD head growing up? Like you?
No. To be honest with you, no. I wish I could say like, you know, bro, that's for my. But nah.
Spotify came out when we were like 14, so like,
dude, that's we're in that age, you know, where it's like digital. I mean, I had a lot of like video game CDs and like, you know, that type of stuff. Like, for sure, the cover art isn't really like paying homage to my childhood or in any way.
I got you. It's cool though. It's consistent.
Yeah, dude, I really like it. I enjoy it. I'm gonna start doing something different now. I have this song coming out next month called Big Hit, and after that joint, I'm gonna do something different. Okay. So the idea was like, the CD cover art is for Volume 1. I'm just gonna call it Mike Bin Volume 1. It's gonna be 13 songs, the first 13, and then after that I think I'm gonna do like cassettes.
Okay. I like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it like I'm gonna keep it symmetrical, you know, like with the same.
Yeah, that's smart.
But something different, you know.
Yeah. And Mike Bin Volume 1, is that like a project coming out soon?
It's not a project, it's a playlist. I'm gonna have it as a playlist.
Where I fuck with that.
Yeah, it's gonna have like the first 13 songs that I came out with the last year. So, starting with, I have like Perception, Aquamarine, Disconnected, like all those songs, Vampire, all that shit. And then the last one will be Big Hit.
That's fine.
So yeah, bro, I just kind of I wanted to like as kind of to be like a staple of like a time in my life. Like this is like 2021, 2022 Mike Bin. You know? And then, because bro, that's the thing. Like my sound's always evolving, and I'm always trying different shit. And like, so I'll never have the same sound that I did in 2022.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I already know like I'm gonna be on something else. So it's like I like to like kind of like put a pin in that and like kind of like save it forever type shit.
And what was going on in 2020, 2021, 2022 that like you like in your life that you feel like reflects the music that you've made?
Well, I mean, like the first song I came out with in 2021 was a song called Perception.
Right.
And that song's really about like, you know, you've heard the saying like glass half full, half empty. And I became really into like metaphysics and like the philosophy of the mind. And that song was really inspired by that, and I wrote the song kind of about just like my personal stage where like I felt like when I was seeing people like on Instagram, you know, with like a large following or like I would be kind of jealous, man. I'd be like, fuck, bro, why is that not me, you know? And like it really came from like me sitting down and like just being like yo, like, are you really gonna like only focus on the shit that's like not where you want it? Like there's so much good in my life, there's so much beauty that like I'm ignoring, you know? And like that really kind of fueled the fire for that song, because it was really just kind of like an ode to myself to like yo, like whatever you choose to focus on, like that's your reality. So like you can either choose to be fucking miserable and be like, oh, why am I not blown up yet? Why am I, you know? Or you can like choose like to be grateful for the shit you have, you know? And like that's really the angle that I took on that song. And
that's cool.
There's, you know, there's a couple other like Vampire and Super Villain, you know. I really enjoy
toxic relationship type shit.
exactly. And I have another song called Toxic.
Right, and you have a song Extra, which is also kind of in that zone.
That rapping joint. Yeah. So, and you know, the thing I really wanted with volume 1, and it's gonna be the same with volume 2, because these are playlists, they're not like albums or anything. Is I really want to showcase my versatility. Genre wise, I don't want to like, I want it to be like, these are all the songs, this is all the different sounds that I've done, you know. Like so that's one of the things like I think is really cool with like volume 1 is like all the songs are different, bro. Like every song is literally almost like a different genre.
No, for real.
You know, they're really like completely different from each other, and like I think that's fucking cool. You know, I really like that about it. So when I do, you know, release an album and stuff, that's when I think it's time to like be like more like homogeneous with the songs.
Like focus on like one sound.
Right. So, you know, but like with this right now that I'm, you know, releasing singles, I really just want to showcase my different.
That's smart. You're just trying to like experiment, show what you got going on.
Right. Right. So that's kind of the mindset behind that, you know.
You think you're gonna drop like an EP maybe to start it off? Be like, this is me doing like 4 songs that sound like this, or like.
You know, that's a great question. I currently have in my scope a mixtape. I've had the idea for many years now. It's gonna be called Michael Binary.
Okay.
And it's like this like alter ego concept where like Michael Binary has, and this also goes to like my philosophical like roots, because Michael Binary was actually this idea that I came up with that was supposed to symbolize the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And the idea is that you know, a computer has binary digits. And this happened like 3 years ago. I was kind of like, you know, going down this rabbit hole of like thinking about like the subconscious mind. What is it? What and like I kind of began to compare it synonymously with a computer. the subconscious is like a computer, you know. It's like it doesn't think, it just responds in a series of ones and zeros. So that was the inspiration of calling it Michael Binary. Coincidentally, my last name's Bin, so it kind of works out like that, you know. But yeah, that's really what kind of, and then from there it really grew into a character. Like I have so many sketch designs of Michael Binary, and so many I really have a whole story arc for this character that I really want to showcase musically.
For sure.
So that's the idea for the first mixtape that I'll come out with probably in the next year.
Word. Yeah. I like that. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So you also did a show at an army base.
Yeah, the Edwards Air Force Base. Yeah. That show was super fun, dude.
Fun fact, we recorded Supervillain, part of it at a abandoned Air Force base.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So how'd the show at the Air Force Base come about?
Yeah, man. So basically I was, messaging, sending a bunch of emails to different places, like asking if I could perform there, and it took a lot of work, took a lot of just like, because you're getting rejected 99% of the time. You don't even get a response. But yeah, man, I was able to volunteer at this Air Force event. They have this it's called like an air show, where like they have a bunch of people there, and they have like games for kids and like things for adults, and it's That's basically cool. Like kind of like a festival.
Okay.
Not like no roller coasters or anything, but it was kind of like a festival vibe. And yeah, I was it was 3 days. I performed all 3 days. And yeah, man, I was able to build some fans and meet people, and it was just a blast, dude.
You
just
were in the
performing.
costume too, I saw.
Had to, man. I had
That's
to. Yeah, dude, I was in the Supervillain fit. But yeah, dude, me and my friends, like the homie Martin. He goes by the name Hot Love Junkie. He was my guitarist on stage, cool. Also brought the homie Wyatt, who I mentioned. He was on stage with me too. So yeah, man, we just had a blast, dude. It was really a great experience.
Wyatt's in the Supervillain music video too, right?
Yes. That's him, man. That's him.
I never got to meet him, but I saw him in there.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yes, he's in it.
Yeah.
He's in it. But yeah, man, it was super fun, super great experience. And yeah, dude, it was really like a confirmation almost. I mean, not that I didn't already feel this way, but it's like I feel like this is the shit I'm meant to do, bro, in my life. Like I really when I was on stage, bro, it's like I can't even describe the feeling, bro. Like,
absolutely.
And those people weren't there for me. Like they weren't chanting my name, nothing like that, But just to have people in the stands that were like listening, like bro, it's just crazy. It's a crazy feeling. Super dope.
Cool. So you mentioned you're into philosophy a lot. What kind of sparked that interest in philosophy?
That goes back deeper than music. Actually, when I was a little kid, bro, I've been into this. Like, I really have always been fascinated with science and with like why. Why are things the way they are? Like, what causes them to be that way? What is time? What is like that shit, dude? Like, I know it like. It can be exhausting to think of a lot I like I really fucking love it, bro. Like this shit makes me happy to think of. I love it, bro. Like on yeah, man, I recently started my own podcast as well. Mike Bin on Air.
Bin on Air. Go check it out.
Yeah. And yeah, man, the first episode came out already with it was titled Who is God? And yeah, man, I was just basically kind of going over like the philosophy on like what God is, what I believe God is, what other traditions would classify God as, and just kind of going down this metaphysical rabbit hole of like what is it that we are at our core, and like what is existence, it's super crazy broad question, but it's like to me it's the most fundamental thing you can ask. It's like, what does it mean to exist? What is this, like what and so yeah, man, that's really like been like my philosophical stance is like I really love like talking about these things, and I really love incorporating it into my music.
For sure.
I really plan on taking it a lot more serious with my music, in incorporating my philosophical ideas with music. I've been, for the past couple years, I've been working on a theory where I'm trying to kind of lay a groundwork for what reality is, and how I think it was able to generate itself. And right now it's called I call it I go by like different names, but like one of them is like binary generation model. So basically it's like this idea that reality has two states, or it has it's called the base state, which is I call state 0, and then it has a vibrating state, which I call state 1. And basically there's an infinite amount of state 1s.
Okay.
It can vibrate in an infinite amount of different modes.
Yeah.
But there's only one state 0. It's just the still state. It's
interesting.
And this state 0 is what I would call the pure observer. It's just pure consciousness. It's just the observer. That's the simplest I can define it as. Yeah. And state 1 is whatever the observer is aware of. Yeah. So like right now you're seeing a chair, you're seeing these are all state 1s. And state 0 is the entity that is aware of of all these things. Okay. So it's the witness. Yeah. And it's what you are at your core. Okay. Like you are the state 0 observer, and so am I. And we are just different manifestations of the same thing.
Yeah. That I can see. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I know you're a fan of IDK.
Yeah.
One of my favorite like philosophical albums is his album "Is He Real?"
Oh yes, I fucked with that album.
You like that? Very that cool. One that really made me. That's the one that like, made me think. I was like,
I remember the intro to it was like about God.
Yeah, and then at the end he's kind of talking about what you're talking about, where he's like, "What is red? Describe red. If me and you can both see like what's red, like
right. You're right. He did say yes. Yeah. That's the thing. It's also very interesting. Is like with qualities like red, right? You can't describe the color red.
No.
The only way to know the color red is to experience it.
For real.
If you don't, obviously, if you're colorblind, no matter how many mathematical formulas I give you, no matter how precise the abstractions are, there's no way that I can convey to you what red feels like.
True.
The only way is to experience it yourself.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of the interesting thing with the experience. And this goes for any experience. It could be what it's like to get married. It could be what it's like to be in a snowstorm. It could be what it's like to wait in line at a roller coaster. If you've never experienced that experience, you cannot possibly fathom what the experience is like.
Absolutely.
And that's super interesting to me. 'Cause it's like, what is it about experience that avoids being captured mathematically?
Yeah. No. That's cool. And do you have like a favorite philosopher, like a philosopher that you look at?
I was super inspired by this philosopher David Chalmers.
Okay.
He's he's very famous for coining the term the hard problem of consciousness.
Yeah.
And basically the hard problem goes like this. Like it's like, okay, we're made up of like billions of neurons in our brain.
Yeah.
Synapses that are firing on and off. We're made up of tissue and blood and blah blah blah, right? And that's totally a normal description. But why and where along those lines did somehow an observer emerge? How was somehow that wet goo that is our brain, that 3-pound blob of goo, how did it somehow emerge the ability to recognize itself and say, I exist? Where did that come from? Because that doesn't seem to be able to come from your typical story of physics and electric charges going on and off like neurons. So there seems to be something in addition that's needed to explain this, because if I just say, okay, I'm made up of a billion neurons in this meat and these synapses, okay, but why would that need to be conscious?
True.
That seems just like a robot.
Yeah.
So it's like, where in that story, where in that mechanism did somehow this emerge? How did that happen, and why? And basically it's like the story of like, how is that even possible? So that's called the hard problem. It's like, no matter how you describe the brain, you can describe behaviors, you can describe mechanisms, you can describe everything you want, but you still cannot capture the first person experience of what it's like to be conscious.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the hard problem.
No, that's cool. Have you gone on any like spiritual experiences to like
what do you mean, like on retreats? Or like
maybe I've never done it, so I can't.
Yeah. I've never been on any like retreats. I do try to practice meditating.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it seems.
Yeah.
It is difficult to get your body in that habit.
Right,
because
right.
we're so accustomed to like having stimuli and like information present to us like every second from our phones and from that sitting still in silence is very agonizing.
Nah, for real.
But yeah, learning to train your body is definitely the way to evolve for the better for sure, dude. So that's where I'm kind of like,
bro,
that's my next.
Have you ever thought about doing a sensory deprivation tank?
Dude, I've heard of that, and it sounds so fucking scary. Like, it's all dark and shit. Hell no.
See, but I've always low-key wanted to do it, because bro, they just did an Atlanta episode about it, and it's the craziest.
Hell no.
Yeah, no, you would never do it?
Because, dude, like, I have a fear of, like, the deep ocean and anglerfish.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think I told you.
You don't fuck with anglerfish.
Bro, that's my phobia, bro.
Nah, yeah.
Like, and I feel like just being in, like, dark water with, like, I don't know, bro. I feel like I'd fucking have a heart attack.
Nah, that's fair.
But I mean, I heard it's really like rejuvenating or what. And I imagine it's gotta be rejuvenating, bro, to not have any sensory input.
Yeah.
Like what the
just to be like alone with your thoughts. Bro.
Yeah. Like that's crazy.
But then people sometimes like question what's real in that.
Yeah.
Like with their dreams and stuff, because it's like more vivid. I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do in Atlanta. They're like, what?
Atlanta's by Childish Gambino, right?
Yeah. It just ended.
Oh, the whole show.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never watched.
It's my favorite show.
Yeah, you fuck with it.
I love that show. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That show got me thinking. So America. I like that you brought up your parents, talking about your parents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So your mom also manages. That's your.
Oh yeah.
Right?
You know, she's she definitely she works. You know, she's a teacher. But yeah, man, when she can, she helps out, like trying, you know, with whatever she can. Man, my mom's always been super supportive.
Met both your parents on the
on the
Vampire music video.
squad. Yeah, man, my parents are super supportive. So like whenever they can help, they try to help. You know. But yeah, the song America is about like immigration.
Yeah.
And it's basically I tried to write it from the perspective of my immigrant family.
Right.
So yeah, I talk about like my mom. She was born in Mexico and she migrated here to the U.S. when she was 4.
Yeah.
And my father's parents came from Cuba.
Right.
So yeah, man, I touch on both their stories a little bit in the song, and yeah, man, I just kind of really wanted to like pay like homage to my immigrant family.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. And so I hear other kind of creative influences on you, like X and Cardi. Like, are those also?
Yeah, X huge influence. Sure. You know, I got into X in high school.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, he fucking revolutionized my artistry for sure. I mean, he was really the first artist that, him and Russ, I'd say, are the first ones that made me like start to want to experiment more with genres.
Okay, yeah.
Russ really made me want to sing and rap.
Yeah.
Like, cause I heard him, you know, he was doing both and very well, and I wanted to kind of like, I was like, oh, that shit's hard, bro. Like, I want to sing and rap too, you know.
Yeah.
But X really like kind of showed me a different world, bro. Like, cause he was doing shit. Like, he made some songs that like were just guitar. Like, it sounds like an acoustic.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful.
And then he made some shit that's like heavy metal. Yeah. And then he made some shit that's like dance, techno. Like, bro, like that was like when I heard like his catalog and shit, I was like so inspired, bro.
Revolutionary for real.
For real, bro. Like that's the only way I could describe it, cause that's really what set me on this trajectory to like try to, you know, dabble in everything, bro. Like I'm trying to like bend genres and you know, dabble in everything. So yeah, man, definitely two huge influences of mine.
All right, so we have like a game that we play on the show. So you gotta name someone who you know in real life that you've never worked with to collab with, and then one person that you don't know that you would love to collab with.
What was the first one?
One person that you know in real life, like personally, that you've never
collabed,
like call them out.
Got you.
And then one person that you. And we have had people like connect through this game before. Yeah.
Oh, that's hard. That's hard. Yeah. Okay, so first one is someone I know that I want to collab with.
Yeah.
It's a great question, bro. I'm gonna say shout out to the homie JJ.
JJ?
Yeah, the homie. He goes by the name 20 PMO.
20 PMO.
Yeah,
okay.
Man. We I would love to like create like some collab
all
project
right.
with him or
cool,
some
cool,
shit,
cool.
bro. Yeah.
Word. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out JJ. Someone I don't know that I would love to collab with, man. I mean, there's so many, bro. But like, I'm gonna have to say Frank Ocean.
There we go. I love that. Yeah,
bro. Either and honorable mention, man. I gotta say Post Malone, bro.
Oh yeah, no, Post. That's like, also someone who is definitely like, a clear influence.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I would like make a fucking fire song with Post Malone, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah, shout out. There we go. For sure.
There we go. And do you have like a favorite song, or are all your songs like
of mine?
Yeah.
You mean? Good question, bro. Each song is honestly, bro, like I feel like it's almost like my kid, you know, like choosing a favorite kid.
No, for real, yeah.
But if you put a gun to my head, bro, I would have to go with right now Supervillain.
Okay,
just because, bro, that song like just
that's what's up.
It represents my childhood to me, bro. Like ever since I was a fucking kid, like I had this vision of me like being a superhero, dressing up as and like when I was filming that video, bro, it was like it came to life. It was in a very weird way, almost like I manifested my childhood image.
For real, yeah.
So you know, and I really love the song. I produced it. I spent a lot of time on all my songs, but like
on that alternative.
Bro, and it just that song really it was one of the smoothest songs because usually, bro, like I'll make a song and then like for months I'll be working on it, then I'll stop, go back to it. This one was like in a month I was done with it. So it was kind of like I knew this is the sound I wanted, where I wanted to take it. Like it was not, I didn't really question too much about it. So it was very, but yeah, man, I'd say Supervillain.
That's what's up. All right, Mike Ben, we out here. So when your next song's coming out next month?
Yes, sir.
All right,
December,
there we go. All right, any lasting message you want to leave the?
Yeah, man. I'm a huge advocate for mental health. I'm a huge advocate for just spreading a good message, man, and making people's lives better. I really hope with my music I could do that, and man, I got big plans. Like I really hope like when I establish myself in the industry, like I want to help people, I want to give back, I want to form foundations that can really change people's lives, bro. I have a lot of big plans for changing the world. So
for sure.
So yeah, man.
Thank
you for having me, brother.
Mike Ben, thank you for coming through. Mike Ben, Easy, DJ Rax Kills, Easy out.